Imagine you're walking down a street where, there are flowers, people are selling different kinds of flowers and fruits. Fruits are arranged in colorful and creative patterns. You have papaya, you have apple, you have oranges, you have pineapple, all of them arranged beautifully and very creatively on different push carts. And you have vendors who are calling out and asking you to come up to their push cart and buy their vegetables from them. You also have people who are selling flowers. It's a crowded place. People are bustling around. It's the puja season, it's the festival season, whatever it is that you want to imagine. And you can see garlands, you can see roses, you can see jasmine, you can see marigold, you can see chrysanthemum. You're getting the smells. Somebody is making coffee somewhere, somebody is frying pakoras and vadas, so you get all of these different smells. You get the you can even hear people shouting, calling out to you, asking you to buy whatever they want. And your purpose in visiting that market, maybe along with your friend, is to go and buy something that you want, maybe fruits and flowers, and come back to your car or drive back home, whatever it is. Now, there are so many options before you, so many push carts. Which push cart will you go to? There are many of them who are calling you. They all are selling similar products. Which one would you choose? And why do you choose that product? The decision is made on the basis of maybe something. It's an arbitrary choice, it's a logic, or maybe it's the best. You can see that the prices are good there, or it's a person that you're comfortable with. Whatever your reason for choosing, the choice is made in a very short span of time. I'm sure we all make many such choices in a day, and we're able to seamlessly do this because of our adequate functioning of our brain. How the brain effectively allows us to make these choices that have implications for us, choices that may not have a very strong implication, choices that help us to finish a job quickly and move on to the next one. All of this is achieved through multiple processes of the brain, which we collectively refer to as cognition. Hi, I'm Akila, and a neuropsychologist. And as part of this series on demystifying the brain, today I'm here to talk about these mental processes of the brain, which we collectively refer to as cognition or cognitive abilities. If this is the first time you're visiting my channel, I would like to encourage you to press the bell icon so that you don't miss any notifications. And if you like the content that we've put out there, please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Those of you who've already liked and shared our channel, I thank you very much. And I really appreciate all the comments that I'm getting for this channel. It's very encouraging to hear from all of you. I would love to hear more from you, what you think about the video, what you would like me to cover, what you would like me to focus on, so that I make this content more meaningful for you. Thank you so much. Do keep those comments coming. I'd love to hear from you guys. So let's move on to today's topic. We're talking about cognition. What is cognition? In a very simplistic definition of cognition, talks about cognition as a mental process that helps us to understand the world around us, to gain knowledge, to manipulate it so that we can adapt to the environment around us. So it involves a number of abilities such as sensation, perception, attention, executive functions, memory, language, thinking, reasoning, problem solving, creativity, and intelligence. These just to name some of the processes. Today, I will talk to you about two simple processes, namely sensation and perception. What do we mean by sensation? How is it different from perception? And what are the implications of these two in our day-to-day lives? And as we move along and see other series other videos in this series, I will talk about other cognitive abilities, and we'll learn a little bit more about each of these as we move along. So let's talk about sensation and perception. And in order to do that, I'd like to take you back to the first example that, you're walking in the market. The smell, your friend walking right next to you, and maybe as you walk along, your friend's clothes brushing past your hand. You can listen to people around you. People are pushing past you. The smell of, the fragrant flowers. Maybe as I described it, you even got visuals. How is it possible for us to get all of this? Because the sensory organs or the sense organs are flooded with information. This information is picked up by the sense organs either together or individually, depending on the stimulus, and that information then is fed into the brain. So any information that is fed into the brain through the sense organs is known as sensation. The moment the brain receives that information, it becomes sensation. And then the brain interprets that information from a very personal perspective. That then becomes perception. So seeing the world as it is through the stimuli that hit or impinge upon our sense organs is referred to as sensation. When we personalize it, when we add color, when we add meaning to it, that then becomes perception. What do I mean by that? Now, when I said that there is a cart that has fruits arranged, and I named a few fruits, were you able to see the color of the apples? Some of you may have seen green apples. Some of you may have seen golden apples. Most of you would have seen red apples. And then when I said jasmine, you may have smelt the jasmine or remembered the smell or scent of jasmine. When I said roses, maybe some of you saw a pink rose. Maybe some of you saw red roses. Maybe some of you saw yellow, because I followed it by talking about chrysanthemums. And I spoke of marigold. So your brain interprets the information that is incoming. In this particular example, it could be visual and it could be auditory, because you're watching my video and you're listening to me talk. So that's the sensation, your visual inputs, and you're receiving auditory inputs. And then the brain adds all the rest of the meaning to it. The smell, the color, which was not there, your brain adds it. And that then becomes personalized information, which is stored, and that then becomes perception, right? So sensation is the world as it is picked up by your sense organs, and the perception is the personalized coloring that your brain adds to it. In order to achieve this, maybe we are using other cognitive processes such as language, such as vision, such as personal experiences, which then which we draw upon based on our memory, right? So I remember when I used to go shopping during the puja holidays, I did this, and I remember that market in in the heart of Bangalore, and this is how I'm going to understand what is being told in this video. So you personalize that information by drawing upon several other cognitive abilities, and the brain puts together all of this information, and that's how you understand this video or whatever I'm describing. It's a small scene. I've not added details, but your brain supplies those details, and that's how a pure sensory information that reaches your brain gets a personalized color. Fascinating, isn't it, how the brain works, and how, even though, like in my example, I spoke about you walking with your friend, even though I said there are two different people in the same scenario, the way each one of you will interpret and react in that situation would depend on your own perceptions of it, drawing on your own interpretations that's carried out in your brain. And that's how we internalize the world, which has personal significance only to us. And that's how each one of our brains function in a unique perspective. To explain this further, imagine you're going past a flower vendor and the person is selling jasmines. You love jasmine and you love the smell of jasmine, and you want to take a minute. Maybe you don't want to buy it. You're there to buy fruits. But then because you love jasmine, you would stop, you would smell it and say, lovely smell. And then you would be happy that you had that experience, and then you would walk on. What if it triggers a headache in your friend? Then your friend would want to rush past that and say, no, I don't want to be here because this gives me a headache, and then runs away from it. So even though the situation is the same, our reactions are totally different. Similarly, even though we are in the same situation, we all receive the same information through our sense organs. Our perception of that situation can be different depending on how our brain interprets this information. Also, yes, the color that we add to it would depend on what we've paid attention to, how much language we use, and our past experiences of the same situation. If it's the first time that you're visiting such a market, or you've never visited such a market and you've only shopped at, say, closed spaces or closed shopping malls, then maybe your experience would be very different. But if you've actually experienced it, then you can draw upon from your own memory. And that's how we go on interpreting. So in the next video, we'll talk more about, other cognitive processes. But for today, a quick recap of what we've learned. Cognitive processes are referred to as mental processes that help us to understand, to evaluate, and to adapt to the situation around us. There are a number of cognitive processes such as sensation, perception, attention, executive functions, memory, thinking, reasoning, decision-making, language, creativity, and intelligence. Today, we learned about sensation, which is the information that our sense organs picks up and relays to the brain. And then perception is the way the brain interprets it and personalizes that information that it receives through the sense organs. I hope you liked this video. Do continue to support us by subscribing, and don't forget to press the bell icon. I will see you soon with yet another video on cognition and continue this series on demystifying the brain.